Hey friend, welcome to Grounded, the vestibular podcast. I'm Dr. Madison Oak, aka the Vertigo Doctor. I am the vestibular physical therapist who is here to help you with all things dizziness, imbalance, and vertigo. In this podcast, we explore the fascinating world of vestibular disorders. Come with me as we dive headfirst into a journey to discover the mysteries of the brain, the inner ear, and the balance mechanisms that keep us grounded. Whether you've been managing dizziness for one day or 25 years, we're going to get real about what it takes to manage dizziness, handle the anxiety cycle, and thrive, not just survive, with your vestibular disorder. First, I want to remind you that this is never medical advice. Remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only and may not be the best fit for you and your personal situation. It shall not be construed as medical advice. The information and education provided here is not intended or implied to supplement or replace professional medical treatment, advice, and or diagnosis. Always check with your own physician, medical professionals, and healthcare team before trying or implementing any information found here. Hello and welcome back to Grounded. Today's vestibular group fit win of the week is by Elizabeth. I absolutely loved reading this one. This week, I realized I can't remember the last time I took meclizine, which is amazing considering I used to be dizzy all the time and depended on it heavily before I knew better. We got new cleaning people who use all natural cleaners, and my house no longer smells like chemicals and fragrance when it's clean. You know, if you listen to last week's episode, how happy that makes me. And I had a performance yesterday. She's a dance teacher / performance and dance, knowing it would be a lot, and I pre-treated, which I'm so grateful for. I used to think medicine equaled failure, so this was big. And I used noise canceling headphones, unapologetically taking care of myself as I needed, so no longer trying to be like everyone else. I am absolutely obsessed with this, and I think it is so incredibly important to take care of yourself and also to recognize how far you have come in the last year or so. Elizabeth's been a member for, I think, a little over a year. And she has come so far from like having a really hard time teaching dance classes, not being able to like do very well the day after she taught dance, like all the things. And we've really gone over like what she should be doing about that. And she's doing so well. So that made me really happy. So congrats to Elizabeth
Yeah,
doing all the
that was an
things.
awesome win. And I always love a win that's like a little reflective and like, here are all the
Mm-hmm.
things that I'm incorporating as well. Cause I think that just kind of helps solidify the fact that like there is a lot of learning that comes into this. And that is a win in and of itself, but also it can kind of help give people ideas too if they're resonating with what that person's win is.
I totally agree. I know she's also posted other wins that are like, I was having 9 attacks a month and now I'm having 2. And that's like also a huge win. So there are a lot of things that I love in here. So yeah, go you. Today, I have Dr. Jenna with me, obviously. And we are talking about things to make your summer easier. It is the end of May. Summer is practically here. So let's talk about things that will make your summer easier. And there are many of those. Hold on. I think there's like, I don't know, should we go through a list? Like, there are so many tips. Obviously, like staying out of the sun is one, but if you have a vestibular disorder, do know that school is out, especially if you have kids. Vacation tends to start. The weather, if you live in a place with like funky weather, which I know a lot of you do, it's like the summer rain comes and like a weird storm comes, but then it's like hot outside and that can be a problem. Then it gets super hot. That can be an issue. And then also these days oftentimes aren't as scheduled, especially if you have kids because they're out of school. They might not be in camp, like they're home, but you might have to work. There's a lot of things to think about, but making sure that you are preparing for all of those things is super important. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think since this is coming out, I say like school gets out like around here like June-ish, so
Mm-hmm.
like we have
Soon.
like maybe a little bit of time before like school's fully out, but just trying to keep in mind like what summer activities or sports or practices or I don't know, things that aren't sports that are still outside for kids, whether it's like, the nature preserve type stuff, whatever it may be, of trying to figure out like, okay, like what would you give for them to help prepare for that and like give yourself that as well. I'm a big sun protection person. Like if I can be out of the sun,
100%.
great. Love my sunscreen, but I also have a love-hate with sunscreen because I'm like I need it. I love what it does for me, but I hate having to reapply. And I'm very good about my reapply. I will set an alarm. I will reapply
Jenna
as
is
needed.
the best reapplier maybe on this planet. Just so everyone knows. Like
When
she really is.
we're on group trips, I'm the one that's like, when did you last reapply? Because I'm just gonna follow your schedule. But like also it's like, yeah, after that first time you put it on, like I'm already kind of warm and sweaty and gross, and it just doesn't like go on as nicely as the first time. So like I've been really big on like the UV protection, like shirts and things too, where I'm just like,
Same.
the less I have to cover, the
Hmm.
better. Like
I have
cover
this
with
fly
sunscreen I
fishing
need.
shirt. It's UV 50 and it has a hood. So like the back of my neck and my honestly the front of my neck, pretty much up to my chin is covered. Just get a fly fishing shirt. Honestly, if you're gonna go to the pool or whatever, please don't tan. I mean, this has nothing to do with having a vestibular disorder, but it's so bad for you and it makes you wrinkly. Keep your sunscreen on, team.
Said from the actors of the White Lotus
Seriously.
to
And
your
did you see
ears.
those interviews? Everyone was like, I stayed inside until the UV went down.
And I was
I
like, now if you so I was all about the UV because I still think about that time some friends sat down and we're just sitting like loving the sun, and I was like, it's been like an hour, and I was like, have y'all put sunscreen on yet? And they're like, no. And I was like, the UV index is 11. You just like roasted yourselves. And they're like, oh, it'll be fine. Like
it's
I
never
burned,
fine.
but then I tan. I was like,
That's a
I
lie that
I
you
was
tell
like, I
yourself to
don't
make you feel
think
better about
I was like, you
yourself.
are from the Midwest. I don't think you've ever seen an 11 before. Like,
Yeah, we
but
were in California for this trip. I will say I have the UV on my phone. So
yeah.
like it's literally just pinned to my background all the time.
Oh, see,
And I love it. If it's under two, I love to get like vitamin D and sunshine like on my face. And so when it's under three, so a zero, one, or two, which in the mornings and in the evenings it is, I go no sunscreen
hmm.
because the UV isn't high. The second it turns three, I am sunscreened out.
And the nice thing that I learned, like in the little weather app, if you click
Hmm.
on the little UV index
Yeah,
thing,
it'll
it kind of
tell
gives
you.
you the little like, yeah, the peaks and valleys, so you can
Hmm.
maybe try to help plan a little bit. I mean, it might just be like you get an idea, like certain times of the
Hmm.
year, it's like, oh, from 10 to 5, it's gonna say
Hmm.
recommend sunscreen, or like 11 to 4 if it's like early
Hmm.
spring or late fall or something. But I really like those shirts, like you said, like with the hat, because then it's like I have
Yeah.
my hat, I have my little hood on, and that
Hmm.
just eliminates a lot of parts of
Hmm.
your body that you need to worry about reapplying, and like you can just you almost like end up feeling like cooler almost because you're kind of like in your own little shade bubble. Like they're super thin and lightweight. Like the thought of a hood and long sleeves when it's hot out might sound really gross, but like I've just been like, this is pretty loose and flowing, and like I'm not having to put
Yeah.
on sunscreen.
No, I mean like it's superior. I just had to put it on my hands and my face. And I don't feel as gross.
Yeah, and
I'm
sometimes
with you. I'm with you.
I'm just like hot is hot, and whether I'm wearing
I
like less stuff on my arms or not doesn't
Yeah.
seem to bother me, but if I'm wearing more sunscreen and I'm sweaty, like it just seems to like
Also,
make it more apparent.
yeah, they make really cute long sleeve bathing suits. Like very cute. That I'm all about. I love them. That is what I started wearing last summer. I could only find one with like a big like hole in the back, but I did not want that. Um, so I obviously had to put a lot of sunscreen there, but this year I am getting myself a long sleeve like zip up zip up bathing suit because we spend a lot of time on the river like paddleboarding, floating, whatever. And obviously this is not an episode about sunscreen, I swear, but it is sun protection is really really important because you can get too hot. It makes you dehydrated more quickly. Um all that sweating is actually good for you, but you can sweat in the shade. And I recommend doing
When
it
it's
that way
summer, it's
instead.
hot. Yeah, I got
Exactly.
a like long sleeve swim shirt, like pullover thing,
Love.
so it's just kind of like
A
a
rash guard is amazing. 10 out of 10.
yeah, like I can take it off if I want to, but it's on and it can get wet and it'll dry nicely and it won't feel like I'm just wearing like a wet, soggy t-shirt. So
I agree.
uh I say, but
So
yeah, exploring the worlds of fun gear, like it's a
I
fun
agree.
little
There's a
thing
lot of fun
to
stuff.
invest in, but like if you think about like how
Mm-hmm.
little of sunscreen you have to use, then like I don't know, is
Yeah.
that cost savings? I don't know, but it's
I think
definitely more
over time,
convenient.
yes. Okay, next thing, low effort, high impact summer hacks. I have a couple here. So, batch your ice. If you do not have an ice maker in your freezer, make sure you are making yourself ice because having water with ice in it is a huge help. But also you can freeze things in it if you're a person who's like, I just don't love drinking water. Freeze like cucumber water cubes or lemon cubes or whatever, so your water tastes like something. Um, and then you can also put like electrolytes in those cubes as well, so it'll slowly melt into your water too, which I think is fun. Next, create a go bag for yourself with lots of high protein snacks. Um, Sunscreen, back to sunscreen, having your water bottle and just like leave it by with your water bottle filled and just leave it by the door or in your car all the time. Do not leave a plastic water bottle sitting in your car for the love of God. But please do put a stainless steel one in your car. They stay cold for longer than you think and just leave it there. And then you'll always kind of have like the things you need, a hat, sometimes a cooling towel, like you can always find like a water fountain or like tap water or something you can put on that towel, put it around your neck. You can put a fan in there. There are a million things you could put in there, but have it in a go bag, leave it in there all the time, and then set up a loose summer schedule slash rhythm. Like make a couple of things an anchor, two or three different things, like maybe a morning walk or quiet time during lunch or an evening wind down, like whatever that looks like to you. Um, Jenna has her cat. It's really cute. Whatever that looks like to you, but set those consistent things that you can continue to do throughout the summer because they will ultimately help and kind of ground you or anchor you in that. Um, Food shortcuts, especially if you have kids. Have some no cook dinner ideas like wraps or giant salad bowls with. I like to just make a giant salad with chicken. It's one of my. Probably have it 2 or 3 days a week. In the summer, especially, it's harder to eat that much salad when it's the winter, but when it's summer, it is way easier. Um, and then always like pre-cut fruit, pre-cut veggies in the fridge. Some people call it, I think this came from a book, but I have a friends who do it and they call it Super Fridge Sunday or something like that, where like every Sunday they in the kitchen together like cut all the fruits and vegetables for the week. I am not this organized anymore. I used to be like the queen of meal prep, but I am no longer. Um, and always having those on hand and ready is super, super helpful. So, yeah, stay hydrated, friends. Keep
Yeah,
eating.
I just remember like grapes. I was like, these grapes are going
Grapes.
bad. And I'm like, I think it's just because we're all just lazy enough that we don't want to like take them off the stem. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take
Mm-hmm.
all these off. And then all of a
Yes.
sudden they were magically gone. Like,
Yeah. No, it's
like
serious. Mm-hmm.
anything that you can
Everyone,
just make a little bit more convenient. And once you actually start doing it, you realize it doesn't take that long if you just
it
do it
really
all in
doesn't.
one go. And then it just like actually helps you get through it. And then like
Yeah.
your food doesn't go bad because you're actually eating it in a
Mm-hmm.
timely manner.
100%. Like sugar snap peas, I love, but I never eat them. They always go bad. And you know why it is? Because I just don't take them out of the bag. Just so dumb. I rinsed all, and I also like to rinse all my fruits and vegetables, even if it's organic. It freaks me out. I used to have a friend who worked on a strawberry farm, and ever since then, I simply cannot. It's disgusting, but so I like to clean them. But grapes, I've been eating a lot of grapes recently for whatever reason. And I just literally got home from the grocery store, put it in my strainer, put the strainer, like wash them, rinse them out, whatever, put the strainer directly into the fridge. Those grapes were gone. I've never eaten so many grapes in my life.
It's like
Grapes,
the okay, mindless
so
eating, great, sign me
good. Uh-huh.
up. Also frozen grapes. That was
Mm,
always a like really nice like
summertime.
outside, yeah, like frozen
Mm-hmm.
grapes, off you go.
Yeah, I love a
Um
frozen grape.
Having like I remember like softball tournaments, I'd have like my
Mm-hmm.
little like looks like those little coolers like
Yeah.
construction workers have in movies, but like it had my ice packs, it had like a damp towel or two, it had snacks, it had like refill like
Mm-hmm.
waters and Gatorades, like the mix sort of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
like
Totally.
it was great.
Pack yourself ahead of time. Seriously. It will save you. And while we're on that topic of like things to do, um, please have your migraine toolkit ready as well. It is not just migraine or not just like tools for the summer, but you also want to have like your acute medications, your fan, your because like you don't usually need these things in the winter. So get them out of hiding or order new ones if you lost them. But fans, cooling towels, cooling wraps, frozen neck things, especially if you're like at long baseball tournaments that you're watching. I remember like my little brother played baseball when I was a kid. It was like 11 hours a day of watching baseball in like 100-degree heat. It was horrible.
And now they make lawn chairs with their own little like umbrella. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
seriously.
like give me one of
No longer on
those.
the bleachers. Um, so just pack like more stuff than you think, but also pack your whole migraine toolkit, your essential oils, your meds, your glasses, your hat, like all of the things.
Yeah,
All of the
I have
things.
like my little like I have my like typical car stuff, like my battery jumper, my air tire
Mm-hmm.
filler, all this stuff that's like
Mm-hmm.
that's just gonna live in the car
Mm-hmm.
because I need it for the car. But
Yeah.
then I have my like seasonal one. So if you're like wanting to be like extra organized or something, you may just say, okay, here's my summer stuff. It's in a box and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
sit on this shelf. And when I pull it out, then that's where my like winter
Yeah.
box is going to be of like
100%.
whatever random like extra
Mm-hmm.
layers or your little like snow shovel or whatever you all need. You just be like, okay,
Yeah.
that I don't need anymore. I'm going to put in like, I'm going to always have a lawn
Mm-hmm.
chair. I'm going to always have a hat that I just keep in my
Yeah.
car or my blanket so I can maybe just like a blanket or like a little chair or whatever, like those
Mm-hmm.
cute little ones that like you can put on the ground that like fold
Mm-hmm.
up to like the
Oh
size of
yeah,
a
yeah.
folder. Like
I
I
had
can move to where the shade is, but still feel like I have a supported like position. So it's
mm-hmm.
not gonna make me feel weird having to like support myself and sit
Absolutely.
in uncomfortable positions. I think even just like those I think a summer like toolkit that you may or may not always have is just like those first aid ice packs that you like crush and break and gets cold instantly. So sometimes people
Love that
like
idea.
having ice for their toolkit, whether it's like on their neck or like again like vagal nerve stimulation or just trying to like cool things down if you get like a hot flushed feeling as part of your like presentation or symptoms or anything. But sometimes just in the summer, whether you like that or not, it could just be something of if I'm feeling overheated, like I can cool myself down.
I like that. And the last thing, maybe not the last thing, but one of the things I know we forgot to mention that is super, super, super important is going to be electrolytes. Electrolytes get depleted so much more quickly when you are sweating because you are sweating out water and sodium, basically. And so making sure that you're having electrolyte, if you have a vestibular disorder, vestibular migraine, probably every single day, I would say, is going to be one of those things that's just really important. So 10 out of 10 recommend that as well. Anything else that we missed? Frozen fruit, bring it with you. Be like Jenna and the construction worker.
I really like frozen yogurt as well. I know
Ooh,
yogurt can always
yes.
be a little tricky with people, but sometimes people that
Mm-hmm.
don't always maybe do well with yogurt are okay with frozen yogurt.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Uh, some people say it's still like a no-go. Other people say like, yes, that I can do. Or if it's in
Yeah.
something that's baked,
Yeah.
like something about like really hot or
Killing
really
the
cold,
bacteria. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it makes it okay.
That makes
Um,
sense.
so that can be really nice. Um, if there's more like specific activities that you really like to do or enjoy or wanting to get back to, Madison put together a
Mm-hmm.
nice big packet about different ways to help prep for those
Oh yeah, I forgot about
specifically.
that. It's in group. I forgot
Yeah,
about
so
that.
I'd say there's definitely a lot more. We're definitely keeping in mind that general like if you're out and about more, you're like trying to do these
Mm-hmm.
different things during the day, like these outings or
Mm-hmm.
there's sports that are going on, like what can you try to do to help prepare for that more? But also if you're trying to be outside more and enjoy your time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe more specific, that can be really helpful too.
Totally. Love that. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you have questions about anything summer related, please let us know. We are always in the Facebook group, literally always, um, to answer your questions. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. Bye.